do you have any moral issues with owning slaves?
I'm asked if I have any moral issues with the owning of slaves. Actually, sir, last year I decided, and it's odd that you would ask me this, I don't think you would know this. Last year I decided that I will no longer purchase or sell any Negro flesh unless I'm forced to. And the reason for it is a matter of moral concern. You are aware, I'm sure, that in every colony and province in British North America that it is unlawful for slaves to marry. You're aware of that, are you not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That means they don't marry, correct?
No.
No, of course it doesn't mean that. They marry, and we're all very well aware of it. In fact, again, in any colony or province in British North America, you can expect to see an advertisement in your papers that says something to the effect of, I am looking for my runaway man, Johnny. He has run off to Albemarle County, where he is known to have a wife. Who of us wouldn't do the same if separated from our loved ones? What a great evil is done to these people, that we sell them hither and yon for our own personal gain. And I, sir, unless forced to it, will no longer do so.
What are your feelings for the French?
Sir, I fought a war against the French. France has, as was mentioned earlier, over here I think, France has always been the natural enemy of England. In fact, at times when we have been at war with Spain, it's sometimes mentioned that we may be at war with Spain, but it's France we hate. France and England have been at war for hundreds of years. The French don't think very highly of me either, and that's me personally. They blame the late war on me.
Well, there was that little incident at Fort Necessity.
Yeah. I was actually asking the younger lady in front of you, but I will address your question right after. But I'm going to come to you because I don't think I can hear you. The question is, do my wife agree with me politically, do you mean? You haven't met my wife, have you? My wife is not interested in politics at all. She has no interest in it. Which is, I mentioned earlier that a man could not have chosen wiser in his choice of wife. If I have any disappointment, it's in the fact that my wife is not interested in politics. It's a shame. That and perhaps the raising of my dogs and her children. Now,
you mentioned earlier that women did not have the right to vote.
nobody has the right. They don't have the privilege.
Do you see in the future them getting the privilege to vote?
The question is, do I see any reason why the privilege of the franchise might be extended to women? I don't see any reason why it should be extended to femme coverts, just as it isn't extended to sons living at home. A femme covert, of course, being a daughter still living with her father, or a wife. But I think an argument could be made to extend, in fact,
Aren't there some?
no woman here in Virginia has ever petitioned to have the franchise. And of course, if they can't bother to even petition the government for the franchise, why would they even use the franchise? But I have heard one woman speak of it, and she happens to be the sister of a bunch of men I already mentioned. And I say bunch because I mentioned there were 6 of them. Hannah Lee, who is a character, let me tell you. I should mention that I know all of these. I grew up 9 miles away from them. And Hannah Lee has argued that because she's a femme soul, she's a woman on her own with property, including tithables, she has slaves. And as taxes are placed on tithables, she's paying taxes, but not represented. She doesn't have a vote. I think there could be legal grounds to extend it on that reason, but a woman would have to petition for it. So far, she's the only one I've even heard suggest that a woman, that she would like to vote. And I don't blame her. Let me tell you, a voting place is not a place that most women would want to be, which is unfortunate. It's a shame that we have entered into a habit of treating voters with strong drink. And it has caused many places of balloting to be very disorderly and ungentlemanly, and that should never be the case. One last question. Sir, take it out.
Is it true that you chopped down a cherry tree when you were a little boy?
What are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir.
The cherry tree.
I understand what a cherry tree is. I've seen them.
Did you chop it down when you were a little boy?
I grew up in Fredericksburg. There are a great number of cherry trees in Fredericksburg. Very well. With that, I will end this discussion. Step down off this dais just here and make myself available for whatever individual questions or quick sketches you may wish. God save us all, and God save His Majesty the King.